niggas never settle for less. It's all in your head, how you think you manifest. So get ready to rise, cause we about to be the best. Gotta switch it up, gotta break the old habits. Get your mind right, turn your dreams into habits. No negative vibes, only positive.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Mindset Cafe podcast. It's your boy, Devin Gonzalez, and today I wanted to talk about on this solo episode the two mindsets, right? The blueprint mindset versus the lottery ticket mindset. And we'll dive into what those things mean. But one thing I do want to say in the beginning, I know I said it towards the end normally, but if these podcasts help at all, make sure you guys share this episode or any of the episodes with a friend, because honestly, that does help, get the show out there and, get your friends on board and help them level up their circle and their life, because again, you are who you hang out with. So if your friends are leveling up and your family's leveling up, then you're going to level up in turn, right? So make sure you guys share that episode, this episode or any of our episodes with a friend. If it's helped you out, it's a, small little fee to help us, because we hope that we help you, right? But diving into the lottery ticket mindset, the blueprint mindset, the lottery ticket mindset kind of goes into the fact that, and I know we've all been guilty of this at some point or another, of we just want that success or that result now. We don't want to wait. We don't want to put in the effort. We just want a, buy the ticket, you win the numbers, boom, you're rich, right? So that versus the blueprint mindset of strategizing and executing and taking time to make sure that you're following all the steps and, putting the effort in, and then it, reaching your goal in a year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever it may be. And so realizing that with the blueprint mindset, right, you're planning the controllables, you're creating inputs, you're creating checkpoints, you're creating, a system to help you achieve your goal. Whereas with the lottery ticket mindset, you're just hoping and praying, right? So for example, like fitness, right? You're hoping to drop 20 pounds fast versus, so that's lottery ticket, right? And with, whether it's a weight loss pill or, drug or whatever the case may be, versus setting up your macros, right? Your proteins, your carbs, your fats, putting together a workout plan, how many days you're going to go to the week, what are you going to work out, so forth. And, making sure that you're just moving more on a daily basis, right? And sticking to that for, however long it takes. And then having checkpoints in where you're weighing in, checking your body fat percentage and so forth, right? Adjusting your macros. Those are the differences right there. In business, right? Praying that, your reel for your business, or Instagram reel or TikTok goes viral and your business blows up versus, maybe making 3 posts a week, right? Giving some value, giving some content, sending some DMs and having your business growth be sustainable and actually, what's the word? I guess not sustainable, but like stronger, right? I can't think of the word. It's not coming to the top of my head right now, but realize that hope and pray and purchase and wish, it doesn't work, right? Yeah, there's the one person that wins, but realize the odds are better by, you getting struck by lightning, right? In life, right? Waiting for the right mood or the right time to talk about, finances, let's say, because the right mood, the right time is never going to come, versus setting up a monthly meeting, have a 45-minute little finance money meeting with your significant other, right? Rip the Band-Aid off the first time and it gets easier. For nutrition, right? I need to drop weight fast. All of a sudden, I'm just not going to eat, versus let me just, talk to a coach or someone and figure out, what do I need to eat? What things am I currently eating that maybe aren't suitable for my goals? Realize that the reason a lot of us have the lottery ticket mindset is it gives you, when you do achieve something where it's like a purchase and win kind of deal, where it's just overnight, there's that dopamine hit, right? There's that rush that you get and you want another one. It doesn't satisfy anything, right? It's like gambling. You go to the blackjack table, boom, you hit blackjack. So you don't walk away at that point. You play another hand, right? Versus realizing that with the blueprint, you're not going to get those dopamine hits, but you are going to get something that's sustainable and life-changing because it's not based off of your emotion. It's not based off of any dopamine. It's not based off of any, feeling. It's something that you're changing your lifestyle habits with, and realize that the horizon you choose starts to filter your behavior. What I mean by that is essentially shortcuts and fast things, reward that dopamine, right? But the longer horizon, the longer goals, right, prioritize durability, prioritize patience, commitment, internal motivation, right? And those things start to build. So sometimes we have to change our checkpoints, right? Are you giving yourself, like maybe your goal is a long-term goal, right? But maybe your checkpoints are too small, meaning that like every week you're giving yourself a reward because you lost a pound, right? And it's like, yes, that's awesome, high five, great job, but maybe in the beginning that worked, but now let's do it every 2 weeks. Then try to do it every month, right? Try to expand the time frame before you look for that checkpoint, so that you're not looking for the reward. You're not looking for the dopamine hit of, I'm doing good, right? Trust the process, stick to the plan, and it will create a more doable and a more rewarding and healthy mental state as you're going through the process. Because what happens when you don't hit one of the weekly check-ins, right? Now all of a sudden you feel like crap. And now the next day you want to weigh in again. And the next day you want to weigh in again. And the next day you want to, until you all of a sudden get the result you're looking for. Right. And that happens a lot of times at the gym. We'll have a member weigh in or something and they didn't like their weigh in. So then they want to step on the scale again. And say, okay, step on the scale again. Boom. The results are exactly the same. It's like, I don't know what you think is going to change. Right. Oh, I did. Well, I held my breath this time. It's like, that's not how this works. Right. Well, can I weigh in tomorrow? Yeah, go for it. Unless they did something to affect the weigh-in, meaning that maybe they drank the night before, maybe they didn't drink enough water the day before, they took a laxative, something of that nature. Like obviously it's going to throw a misread. Otherwise, it's like that's the result. Like that's a result of the combination of work you put in for the last week, the last 2 weeks, the last month. You can't be upset at the result if you didn't put in the effort, or if you try to shortcut your effort, right? So realize that pushing those out, like for our 11-week challenge, we have a 4-week check-in, not weekly check-ins, but a 4-week check-in, then an 8-week check-in, and then basically final check-in, right? So check-ins are a month out so that it gives enough time. Yeah, people can check in between and to get advice and stuff like that, but like the official check-ins are 4 weeks apart, so that people aren't trying to step on the scale every single day, because that creates unhealthy habits, right? People that weigh themselves every morning, that's not super healthy, because all of a sudden you gain a pound, you freak out. It's like, dude, just go take a dump, right? But it's like those kind of things start to throw off the rest of your day. Now you're upset because you didn't get the dopamine hit you wanted, so now you're gonna try to find a dopamine hit somewhere else, because your body craves that reward, craves that dopamine, or craves that rush, right? So another thing I would say, like doing that, right? We have the 11-week challenge, for example, for fitness, is people will do the challenge, right? There's some gyms that will do a 6-week challenge. I'm not going to name any names because there's a handful of them, but let's say they do a 4 or 6 or 8-week challenge. I haven't really seen 8 weeks, but 4 or 6-week challenges, and then members will sign up for it. They do it, and then all of a sudden the challenge ends, and then the member falls off, right? They don't sign up for memberships. They just wait till the next challenge, and they're like, when's the next challenge? I want to sign up for that. It's like, that's not durability. That's not long term. You're going for these crash diets. You're going for these ups and downs, this roller coaster, and this yo-yo of your results. Realize that even for us, like the reason why we have the 11-week challenge only twice throughout the year is it's supposed to give you a jump start and give you that boost, but then you got to continue after that. So like if you have amazing results after the 11 weeks, like you got to continue. There's not another 11-week challenge till the end of the year, right? So it's like that's the whole point of doing something that can give you a jump start, is not to realize that it's something to yo-yo back and forth, right? So instead of focusing on like a 6-week shred and then you're super on it, you're dieting super hard for 6 weeks, and then after the 6 weeks you're like, now what do I do, right? Versus like setting up a plan for the next 12 months. Like I'm going to focus on my strength, or I'm going to focus on weight loss for the first 3 months, then I'm going to focus on building some strength, then I'm going to build, and you create little blocks throughout, right? And yes, your blueprint can change as you go. It can adapt. And that's the whole thing, even with the business, right? I've mentioned this on other podcasts or other episodes before. You have a business plan when you start a business, right? It's not, hey, we're going to open the doors and, they will come. Build it, they will come. Fuck no, that's not how that works. I'll tell you right now. Build it, they may come, they may not come, right? But you strategize, you put together a plan, and then you execute the plan. And depending on how the plan is going, you adapt the plan. That's the whole point of a blueprint. It's an adaptable blueprint. It's not set in stone, right? It's not written on, it's not carved in a stone that you can't, it's that shit's written on an expo board. Erase it and write the next step again, right? But the main thing is you try, you test, and you keep trying, you testing. And the main thing is if you fall down, you get up. You fall down, you get up. It doesn't work out this week. Perfect. Now you know what doesn't work. Next week, let's try something new, right? And that's what the whole game is about. Realizing that you are compounding the small changes and the small incremental steps so that in a month, in 6 months, in a year, you've compounded all those little wins and those little changes. And now there's a huge result that people are like, dang, how did you do that? Right. And now they're looking for their fast fix to get to where you got in 12 months. And they want it in a month. That's just not how it works. Right. If it's taking, you've never had a 6-pack before and you have 50% body fat, you're not going to get a 6-pack in a month. It's just not going to happen. Right. Rome wasn't built in a day. Neither are you. You're not going to get your results in a day either. Right. It takes time. But also we want to make sure that you are building the healthy mental state as you're on the journey to achieve your goals. Right. And I mean, one of the things that can help too is realizing, like, plan it out on your calendar, right? Build a cadence, build a basically a rhythm, right? Lock in blocks of time for certain things, right? If you are set to work out 3 times a week, okay, well, what days are you going to work out? If you don't work out on this day, which other day can you switch it to as like a plan B? Because sometimes the day doesn't work out as you want it to. Shit happens, right? That's just how the day goes sometimes. You don't know what the day has in store for you, but you need to adapt. You're not able to do it today or in the morning. Okay, do it tonight. Right? Yesterday I thought I was going to work out at noon. Didn't happen. Worked out at 8 p.m. Main thing is I told myself I was going to work out. I worked out. You keep the truths you tell to yourself. You tell yourself you're going to do something, follow through with it. Otherwise, when you tell yourself you're going to do something, you tell yourself you're going to achieve something, your body doesn't know if it's truth or if it's a lie. Right? The subconscious doesn't know. But build a schedule, right? Are you going to do this, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays in the morning and the evening? Don't leave it up to chance. I'm going to do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay. When? Like lock in specific times, have specific, notes for how you're going to accomplish it. Otherwise, you leave too many variables up to chance, and I guarantee you're leaving too many holes in your boat that your boat's just going to sink on this journey to success, right? And now you're trying to patch the holes as you're in the ocean. So realize that if you're doing things for the for that dopamine hit, sometimes you got to give yourself that little reality check, right? You have to first understand, why do I want to do this? Why am I doing this? Find out your reasons why, right? And they have to be real reasons. I want to look good. It's like, okay, well, shit, everyone wants to look good. Why do you want to look good? Is it going to help you improve your confidence? Is it going to, are you doing it to be a role model for your kids? Like, find that deeper meaning, because that's going to help you push you on the days that you don't want to do it, right? You telling yourself you're going to do something and you following through with it essentially is almost like building a moat, right? Like a castle, like a moat around your essentially skill of doing it, even though you don't want to do it, right? You want to build a strong moat so that regardless of what's going on in life, regardless of how you feel, you're going to end up doing it. It's inevitable, right? Because your body already knows that if you tell yourself you're going to do something, you accomplish it, right? One question I want you to ask yourself is, what is at least what's a small repeatable habit that you can commit to for the next 30 days that aligns with you achieving your goal, right? So I'll say it again. What is a small habit that you can repeat daily for 30 days that would align with you achieving your goal? And how are you going to track it, right? Are you going to give yourself a little check mark on a calendar? Are you going to, have an accountability partner? How are you going to track you achieving your goals and see if you actually stuck to it? Realize that the blueprint mindset can be boring. It can be mundane, but no one told you that achieving your goals was going to be fun, right? Whether it's fitness, whether it's business, whether it's, marriage, right? The relationship, like, no one promised you that this shit was going to be fun, but they did promise you it would be worth it. And I can tell you it's worth it, but you have to come out on the other side. You have to be forged by the fire, and the fire being doing everything you need to do, regardless of how you feel on the days you don't feel like doing it. That's being forged by the fire. You have to do hard things to get the results you want to get, because most people don't do the hard things. They don't do that stuff that is needed. And that's what separates, and that's what creates the gap of the people that have the result that you want and the people that don't. But I hope this does help. I hope, kind of changes your mindset on at least maybe one goal that you have right now, that you're doing it with the lottery ticket mindset. And I hopefully, you can start to adapt and maybe expand your time horizon and set bigger goals and less checkpoints, so that you're strengthening the moat around your durability, around your commitment, around your self-motivation, your self-drive, right? But with that being said, I appreciate you guys. I love y'all. And if you guys ever need anything, feel free to DM me in on my Instagram, or even on the Mindset Cafe Instagram. Always happy to help. Make sure you guys follow the Mindset Cafe community on Instagram. But we'll see you guys on the next one.
No negative vibes, only positive thoughts, 'cause in the game of life, mindset